This is the Cardputer Zero, and it is a complete game changer. This teeny tiny Linux computer has managed to do something that so many other companies have tried, and at like a $90 price point, it is completely insane. I have been incredibly fortunate. M5Stack actually sent me an engineering sample of this. There's only like 10 of these things out there, and today we're gonna break it down and check out absolutely everything it's got to offer. I've spent the last week, every single day after work, spending hours and hours learning how this works, figuring out how the Linux stuff works, breaking down every single feature I can show you. And make sure to wait until the end of the video because I'm going to show you everything I've learned, plus we're going to take this little guy apart, hopefully, and see how it works. This little device right here changes everything. Alright, let's get into it.
This video is for educational purposes only. Only test your own hardware. Doing otherwise is illegal. Don't be a skid.
Alright, so first things first, I think we should compare the size between the Cardputer Advance and the Cardputer Zero because they're very, very similarly sized and shaped. So you can see this one's a little bit thicker. However, this screen kind of has a little notch up right here, so it goes a little up right there, where this one does not. So it's actually a little closer than it looks. But still, very, very similar form factor. In fact, the footprint, I believe, is pretty much exactly the same. So a lot of compute module into this. Speaking of, the Cardputer Zero actually uses the Raspberry Pi CM or Compute Module Zero. It's a quad-core Cortex A531 gigahertz chip. Very cool, very fast for what it is. It's amazing. Now, I will say my battery is actually dead. These are engineering samples, remember, like we said. So some of these have a little bit of quirks. By the time the Kickstarter comes out, these things will be completely ironed out and work perfectly. One thing that's also nice to note about them is that the buttons are just slightly bigger, just slightly, which actually makes them a lot better. I wanted to have the big like BlackBerry buttons on these, but you know what? Compared to that, these are way better and it's way more usable. Beyond that, we have over here, we have a USB-C. On the other side, we have another USB-C. That one's for charging. This is our Grove port, so we can plug in all of the great M5 accessories. Audio jack, HDMI. I know my buddy, the other one, already has HDMI output working, so that's really cool. We have a speaker down here on the bottom, and then we have our Ethernet port right there, super easy. Then we have our boot buttons, like our reboot button right there. Then we have a USB Type A and a Type C. Up top, we do have our expansion port, so it does work with this LoRa cap. Well, it's upside down, but yeah, it does work with the LoRa and GPS cap, so you can Wardrive on this thing once we get the firmware for it. One thing to note now, which is kind of funny, is if you plug this in, as such, fits right in there super nicely. But if you plug this in and try to power the device on, it won't actually turn on. There's some sort of weird thing, but I know they'll have that figured out. I think they had the same issue with the Cardputer Advance when it came out. Very cool. Pop that off for the time being. And then we have up top, we have our two little Lego Technics connectors, so we can connect things that way, and our SD card slot. And of course, on the back, we have our camera right there. Now, the camera doesn't seem to be working with the firmware yet, because a lot of the base firmware is a little bit kind of for display only. This thing is super early, and only a handful of people actually have these, so I'm incredibly fortunate. I don't care if there's issues with it. The fact that I'm holding this in my hand right now and I get to show you, that's what I'm psyched about. Now, one thing I wanted to do really quick was actually a size comparison to similar ideas, similar Linux computers. This is the Wi-Fi Pineapple Pager by Hack5, and you can see they're actually a pretty similar form factor. I think this guy's got a little bit bigger battery in it, but that kind of gives you an idea of a form factor. Now, this is the real form factor difference I wanted to show off. Now, believe it or not, this is the Flipper One. Yes, we actually found an STL file for it and we printed it. So this is the size the Flipper One is supposed to be. This is the size the Flipper One is supposed to be. That is insane. This thing's huge. Like, this is just to show you, that's a Flipper Zero. This is like, that's insane, the difference in size for this. And just to show I'm not cheating, that is an SMA jack right there. If I take an SMA antenna, you can see that, like, yes, that's the right size for it. I can't screw it in because the threads don't work, but yes, that is actually correct size. So we know that this scale, this is the Flipper One compared to this being the Cardputer Zero. Like, it is a no-brainer. This thing is done. This thing's huge. Like, absolutely enormous. All right, moving on. All right, so we're gonna power this guy on in real time just so you can see how fast this thing actually boots, because not all Linux computers boot super fast. And while we're waiting, actually check this out. This is a Hailhound case I designed for my buddy Jesse for his Hailhound project. You can actually get him at hailhound.com. He's got a limited run, but yeah, these cases came out awesome. Anyway, back to this. So now we have an M5Stack logo. You can't see because of the exposure, and I can't turn it down in this part of the firmware, but we're gonna see really well in a second. I got it all fixed up. And what's also kind of funny is, as it boots up, that's the Raspberry Pi logo, and then it shows you an ad for the Cardputer Advance. I thought that was kind of weird. Everybody actually assumed that this was an ad for the Cardputer Zero, but no, it's actually for the Advance. Really funny. And now we're already booted up and we're in our demo software. So we have our CLI, or our command line interface, and we're gonna come back to this in a second because we're gonna use the CLI to get through a bunch of cool stuff. Now, one of the things that they're promising is OpenClaw. So this should be able to work with OpenClaw. We can even open this up, and I believe this just runs, yeah, it's not actually set up. So it's just command line stuff, no sandbox backend available right now. So this is, again, a demonstration, but it just shows that this is what they want this device to have. So I think we can Control C out of this and get out. We've got our settings here. There's nothing particularly interesting in the settings. It's just got our Wi-Fi, Bluetooth display, and our sound settings, because again, this does have a speaker. It has music, because of course, why not? And it has an audio player. It does have speakers and all that good stuff. I don't think I actually have anything loaded in here. Yeah, there's no tracks and there's no sounds, because that wasn't really what I was interested in playing with, but again, we're gonna show you all the features. We have the IP panel. Now again, we're not hooked up to our network, at least not plugged directly in. So yeah, we can just see that we're hooked up to wireless LAN, and that actually gives you our IP address, which is pretty useful because we actually were able to SSH into this. So we were able to shell into this from our network, and that's how I programmed everything and did everything, because using this keyboard, especially typing in long Linux commands, not super fun. So we have our math, which I'm assuming is probably just a calculator. So I haven't even opened this application. Okay, so yeah, that doesn't work. Stocks work. Oh, okay, cool. Stocks does work. I do have it connected to the network, so it should kind of work there. So yeah, you can see where the different stocks are. I'm assuming this is real. Editing Sasquach here. It's not. Move on over. Now, we do have a chat as well. Now, again, I don't have any more of these hooked up around my network, so I don't think anybody's going to see anything on chat. Moving on, email is the same thing. Let's see what email looks like. And yeah, these are just dummy emails. These aren't real, so, because I don't know who Bob or Carol, Dave, yeah, Alice. There's always someone named Alice. It's kind of funny. It does have SSH from this side, and then we have our quote. This is a biggest quotes in the world, our hack options. There is nothing in here that's even remotely hacking. All it has is a Wi-Fi scanner, a port scanner, something to tell you about your own network, and the ability to ping. There's nothing hacking about this whatsoever. M5Stack is marketing this device, in their own words, as a pocket Raspberry Pi computer for hackers, but it's really just a pocket Linux lab for coding and creating. Of course, always make sure you're testing your own devices or devices that you have express written permission to test, but in this case, we're not testing anything because it really doesn't do that. Moving on, this does have LoRa mesh, so I believe, again, this is just one of those, it kind of looks like it's working, but it's a demo because I don't even have the LoRa thing plugged in. It's got Meshtastic in here. It will have Meshtastic or MeshCore, whatever mesh system you want to use. Here's our microphone and our camera. I have played with the camera a few times and I have not figured out a way to make it actually work, but again, engineering sample. These things will be fixed by the time they launch. I guarantee it. We have game. Now, I know you can add games to this. I'm not sure exactly which ones they are, but this is, I want to say Snake. So here is Snake. There we go. And you know, it's Snake. If you're anywhere near my age and had one of those old Nokia phones, you played a lot of Snake. So moving on. Now we have Vim, which is just a text editor. We don't need to even go into there. Now this does run Python, which makes it so that we can program a whole bunch of really cool stuff into here. So now we're just running Python, just bare old Python, which is cool. Exit. See if we can exit Python. There we go. Now we have the store. So there's not a lot on the store, I don't believe. So yeah, this is the Meshtastic or Mesh application. Then we have my firmware. I believe that's what we're running right now. And then, yeah, that's it. That's all we have right now. Again, engineering sample, brand new thing. And there's no way for me to even update this through M5 Burner because this device doesn't exist yet. So let's hop into CLI and check out some of the things that I've added to this. So the first thing I actually did was make, I don't know, it's just a cool little demo. We call it mainframe. So we're going to do symbol tilde. Symbol, there we go, slash, and then main, and then with any luck, this will autocomplete, mainframe.sh. So this is, again, just a little demo I made. We have a little bit of fun digital rain right there, and then it says, dun dun dun, Squatch. We've got just, you know, fun little hackery looking stuff down here. And yeah, it's just, again, a little tech demo, but I wrote something, I made something, so that's pretty fun. Furthermore, if you're going to have anything that's like this device, you have to do CMatrix. It's actually easier to type on this keyboard, but it's the fact that like there's a camera like right there. It's right in front of me. It's very, very hard to type in front of it. CMatrix. And what that is yeah, digital rain. You can do this on any Linux thing. It's like the first thing you can do, but very cool. It runs right in terminal. So one of the other things that I found was that there's another visualizer that you never really even hear about. It's just called like BB, I don't know, but another visualizer. I know this is just another visual demonstration, but anytime you can do something like this inside of a terminal, I just think it's really, really fun. So along the same lines as this is like, you know what? If we're doing visualizers like this, why can't we do Bad Apple? So I took it upon myself to do this. And how do we get out of here? Escape? I never know how to get out of these things. X? Like, how do we quit? Oh, okay, QQQ. All right, cool. Now we're out. So I went ahead and figured out a script for Bad Apple. So effectively, I'm just using FFmpeg in order to kind of change the video for Bad Apple into ASCII. And yeah, we've got Bad Apple running. Now, it probably could run a little bit better. I don't always know what I'm doing when it comes to setting up these commands, but yeah, I mean, that's passable Bad Apple. Like, if I didn't hear the music, I would know that this is Bad Apple. So that's pretty badass, if you ask me. So here's a cool little trick my buddy Snorin showed me. So if we do Control-Alt F2, which is going to be really hard because Control-Alt function F2. Here we go. Now we've actually kind of escaped the launcher. So my Pi login is Pi. Okay. Now we're in a terminal, but what's weird is it's kind of trying to push the actual UI over top of it. So let's see if I can kill that. I've had problems with this, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it. Let's see if we can kind of like hack the matrix here. And this is going to be /stop app launcher. So what does this do? Okay. Yeah, see, it's overwriting stuff. It's so weird. I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, see, we're like stuck between matrices. I don't know what we're doing, but we're doing stuff. Can I just re-enter that? No, yeah, I'm in like a different terminal. It's so weird. Okay, now we're back to another login page. And now, yeah, we're kind of borked at the moment. But yeah, that's pretty much where the Cardputer Zero is right now. And it has an infinite well of possibilities. So let me take a look, because I know the battery doesn't work. Let's see if we can open this up. This is going to be scary. Give me a second. But not before this segue to today's sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay is your one-stop shop for all things PCB design, manufacturing, CNC, sheet metal fabrication, and so much more. And there's still time to participate in the 2026 KiCad PCB Design Contest. You have until June 15th to enter your own PCB design for a chance to win a Raspberry Pi 5 and $500 cash. So head on down to PCBWay.com to participate or to just get some really amazing projects done. Thank you so much to PCBWay for your continued support. You guys are awesome. All right, let's get back at it. Now, I am recording and dropping and editing and doing the entire video today, Sunday, and I really hope this isn't a problem because my buddy Snorin, again, showed me a video of what happened when he took his apart. It's a little bit scary, but let's see if we can be super careful. Otherwise, I might bail on this because if it takes me 40 minutes to put this thing back together, and you'll see why in a second, but if it takes 40 minutes to put this thing back together, it might not be particularly helpful for our time frame today because editing takes a while. Now, this is the scary part because we know that these buttons are kind of free underneath here. So I'm going to really carefully try to do this. And maybe we get lucky and don't have a yard sale. I'm trying to make it so you can see what I'm doing as opposed to me just having my hand in the way, but always a challenge when it comes to these things. So I just keep dropping stuff. So if we turn this upside down, can this come off without being too scary? Oh God. Oh, this is so scary. Oh, crap. Nope. We're not doing this today. Not today, boys. I'm gonna put it back together off camera. Sorry. Okay, I got the buttons back in place. Let's push this thing back together. Oh my God, this was a mistake. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cardputer Zero. I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. Go together. Please. Please stay together. For the kids. Alright. Alright. I think we're okay. Although I am very glad that Snorin told me that that was what's going to happen, because if I didn't know that, I probably would have yard saled the buttons all over the place, just like he did. Plug this back in. Actually, I'm going to plug it in with the thing away so it's better on camera. Power this on and make sure.
Nope.
Uh-oh.
Nope.
Oh, shoot. Power button doesn't switch. Farts. All right, we're going to have to fix that too.
Yo, it's Talking Sasquach, hacking the planet from his mom's basement.
Subscribe to Talking Sasquatch before the internet does.
Hack the planet! Talking Sasquatch!
Why did I decide to do this on a day that I wanted to do everything in one day? If I had like a whole day for just filming, we could just play around like that. But no. All right, so that goes like that, that goes like that. So this needs to go forward. That lines up. Tight. Careful. Button works. Okay, button works. I just cut my fingernails and I can't pick up the damn screw. Come on. Get this thing plugged in and powered on while we screw on the last screw. Yes, we didn't break it. Oh god, that was scary. And dumb, especially seeing as I knew what was gonna happen and I still made it yard sale. Good god. And so yeah, this is the Cardputer 1. It's coming to Kickstarter in a few days and I'll add the link down in the description as soon as it's live. I think it's going for something like $90 and then maybe when it launches it'll be more expensive, but it sounds like the price point that this thing is gonna be is gonna make it pretty much a no-brainer device. Also, knowing how great the M5 ecosystem is and how excited all the developers are to make stuff for this will be one of the best devices and a guaranteed everyday carry. Is there anything else you'd like to see me do with the Cardputer Zero? Let me know down in the comments. I am so into pretty much anything. I was trying to get Doom to run, but I ran out of time, but it's so cool. All right, any other devices you want to see me cover? Leave a comment down below. As always, you guys are absolutely awesome. We'll catch you next time.